So the macrophages, receive these cytokines, they produce more, so they cause a positive feedback cycle, so more macrophages are attracted to the area. Inflammation, pain. But now the macrophages are moving to the area there, and my early animator, you can tell, made video games. You're like planets moving into position. So through fluid axis, the macrophages migrate to where the disc herniation is, and they release this stuff called matrix metalloproteinase 3. This is a proteolytic enzyme, a digestive enzyme. So the macrophages show up, they release the enzyme that's going to digest the herniated disc, and then they consume it. Pretty cool. And then normal granulation takes place, and that's how your body will heal itself. So it's our job to preside over that and not make it worse. So what we bring to the table is, there's going to be a point, about 3 weeks in there, that they want the epidural injection or they want the surgery. They're bad enough with a lot of pain, but no hard no findings that would drive them to surgery. You have to be an expert in your neuro exam if you're going to treat these. You have to look for nuances and subtleties. So they're going to get better as long as they don't have neurological issues. So as this sits right here, timing has an awful lot to do with the outcome of brain dance. So if I do traction, if I do flexion traction, whatever I do, my flexion distraction is not going to pull the disc back in. It's going to reabsorb what I just showed you. That's how it takes place. And that video probably represents 30 or 40 research articles that put into like a 2-minute video to kind of illustrate what happens. So we talked a little bit about this. Dry herniations are less likely to reabsorb. So if somebody's 65 and I have a herniation, it's less likely that's going to reabsorb. But you can actually see it on MRI. So here's a really fluid field. It's light on T2. T2 weighted MRIs. Water's white. Dark one here. That's actually, there's S1 nerve root getting pushed on. So this is much more likely to regress than this. As you develop your expertise over those many years at Dunning-Kruger, as you become humbled and you get towards the end of your career, hopefully you start gaining your confidence. Like you could be like the Eskimos, have 20 different words for snow because there's so many variations of it. You need to develop your skill to understand the variations, the subtleties of what's going on with that disc. Claire and I, during the war, we voluntarily took care of the Naval Academy American football team. So we're seeing all these war wounded coming back from Afghanistan, Iraq, blown up people. I can say I've probably treated more amputees than any other chiropractor that's ever lived. We had 1,800 of them come through our hospital. And our son was going to the Naval Academy, so we volunteered to take care of this football team. Not because we needed more work, but because after you see a lot of broken bodies, you actually want to see people who are young and optimistic. In fact, there was a pediatric oncologist at the hospital who took some of his vacation days to go to a camp for well kids. Basically, he had to know that not all kids were dying. So from this, we took care of the football team. It was great, and the 7 years that we took care of the Naval Academy team, they beat Army every year, which is a big deal in the United States. So this is the case of one of those players, and I wasn't there this day. He injured himself, had a herniation, and they gave him the full court press. Epidural injection, Medrol dose packs, more NSAIDs, and he felt better real quick. And what happened, here he is, his herniation, and here he is 10 months later. What they did, when you do that, it turns off, remember the inflammatory response I showed in the video? That was how this is consumed. He felt good right off the bat, but that disc is never going to reabsorb now. I know him today. He's a Marine in the Pacific right now, still has the perception